Hello, young explorers. You must be wondering why it is so dark here in this video. So I have one torch with me. Can you see me? Yes. Why? Imagine you are in a room and midnight it's power off. Even you cannot see your hand. Many a times you must have experienced this thing. Why? Why we cannot see our own hand in complete darkness? It is because of light. So why we are able to see the things around us? So let me switch on the light. So when I switch on the light, you can see me very clearly. What is the reason? Reason is very simple. Light coming from those bulbs falls on my body. Those light rays gets bounced back or reflected, reaches to camera and you can see me. So we are able to see the things because of reflection. The same thing, the same reason we are able to see the moon. It is because of reflection of sunlight. Why you cannot see moon on new moon day? Sun is not there, moon is not there, both are there, but still you are not able to see the moon on new moon day. It is just because of the reflected sunlight from moon surface are not reaching to you. That is why we are not able to see the moon. So whatever is around us, light is falling on the surface, coming back, that we call as a reflection. And this light, basically we know that sun is the ultimate source of light for us. And we are getting white light from the sun. But many a times you must have seen a colorful rainbow in the sky, or sky is blue in color. Sun appears to be red and big at the time of sunset or sunrise. In the evening time, clouds or sky gets beautiful colors. From where these colors are coming from? These colors are there in white light. So whatever sun rays, light is coming from the sun, this light is made up of 7 colors. So we call it as a dispersion of light. And Isaac Newton worked a lot on this. When he visited a village fair, he saw very incidentally some glass slabs, or you can say them as a glass pieces, are hanging, and below he saw 7 colors, spectrum of 7 colors. So he brought those prisms back in the home and he tried lot many experiments. He passed that white light which is dispersed into 7 colors. So basically white light is made up of 7 colors, and you also can do one experiment at home that we will see in second part, creating a rainbow. You don't have to be in sunlight and clouds to create a rainbow. Just what you need, a sunlight and a prism or a plain mirror and some water. So we will see this creation of rainbow in second part of this video. But remember, white light is made up of 7 colors. Next question comes into Newton's mind. If we mix all those 7 colors back, can we get white light? What is your answer? Just think for a minute. If we mix all 7 colors, can we get white light back? Newton did lot many experiments on this, and we are also going to find answer to this question in second part using one experiment. We will mix all 7 colors and we'll see what happens, which color we see. But the things that we are able to see because of white light, And in our day-to-day life, we are using two things. We talk about reflection, but there is one more scientific phenomenon is there, which is called as a refraction. Refraction happens with the lenses and reflection happens with the mirrors. So there are lenses and there are mirrors which we use in our day-to-day life. And remember which types of mirrors you use. Every day you must be using your mirror just to see how you look, how you are dressed up. That mirror is plane mirror which we use. Then you must be going in a school bus or in your car or on a two-wheeler with your parent. That mirror is a different type of mirror. Can you recall what is written on that mirror? Just think for a second. Can you recall it? What is written on the rear view mirror of a school bus? Any rear view mirror I am saying. The word or the sentence written is, objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. I repeat, objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. What does it mean? If you are driving a car and look in the back mirror or rear view mirror and you see a bus is coming, so where that bus will appear to you? Is it closer to you or it is farther away from you? The word says objects in the mirror are closer than they appear. It means bus is closer to you, but you will see that it is away from you. So you have to be careful when you are driving and looking or using that rear view mirror. So that type of mirror is convex mirror. If you are waiting on dining table and your mama is preparing say noodles or something which you want to eat and you have a soup, say a spoon like this, and you're eagerly waiting for food. Food is not coming, so what do you do? So normally many of you have seen the inside the spoon. So this part from where you eat, when you look into it, just go into the kitchen and get clean spoon and see yourself in this surface, which is from the side which you eat, and the opposite side, look there as well. What do you see? This is nothing but two surfaces I am talking about. This surface, which is from the downside or outer side, it's called as a convex surface, and this is a convex mirror. Whereas from this side, if you see closely, you will see a big eye or big nose or big teeth inside this, and as you take it away, image will get blurred and at one point it will get inverted. So this type of mirror is called as a concave mirror. So when you hold it closer, you will see your nose or eyes magnified, bigger one. So such type of concave mirror is used by dentist or for makeup. Whereas convex mirror is used in rear view mirror or in your society parking. You must have seen a big mirror which is used at a turning. So you can see who is coming. So it covers a large area, but concave mirror you see a magnified thing. So we use mirrors in our day-to-day life. Basically there are three types: plane mirror, concave mirror and convex mirror. We will do some experiments with the concave and plane mirror. And also you try one thing. Stand in front of a plane mirror. Raise your left hand. What do you see? Your image is lifting which hand? You just walk closer to your image. What happens? You walk away from the mirror. What happens? The image inside the mirror, your image inside the mirror will walk away from you as you walk away from the mirror. as you go closer, that image will come closer to you. So the image formed in plane mirror, the distance between object and image inside the mirror is always same. Remember this thing, I am talking about a plane mirror. So distance between mirror and object and distance between mirror and image formed inside the mirror is always same in plane mirror. We will prove this using one experiment, candle experiment, later. So images are formed in the mirror. So when light falls on any object, that object may be different. Like a rough surface, I am holding this paper like this. Can you see yourself in this? No. But you must have seen your reflection on the floor tiles or some glasses, or in mirror your 100% reflection. So how images are formed? For that we will see that any surface, so there are two types of surfaces, but on any surface light behaves same. So if this is any plane surface, so I am just drawing this. So if this is the thing, this side will be reflecting surface. So if any light ray is falling on this mirror, this light will be reflected back. So this is called as an incident ray, and we have a reflected ray like this. But on this point we have to draw a normal which is 90 degree to the surface, and this incident angle theta is equal to this reflected angle always. So whatever light rays are falling here will be reflected parallel like this. So that is why you see, if surface is plain, smooth, you see your image. But if surface is rough, like this, so light ray falling here will go like this. So light ray, so even if they are parallel, will go like this. So that is why no image is formed. So it will be just a reflection of light and you see the object like this. No image formation or your image formations. You just get a scattered light. But laws of reflection are followed here again. So this is an incident ray. At this point you have to draw a normal to the surface. Again these two angles will be the same. Here also if you draw a normal to the surface, these two angles will be the same. So the laws of reflection are followed. So what is laws of reflection? There are two laws. The first is incident angle and reflected angle are always same, and incident ray, normal and reflected ray will be always in the same plane. So remember these laws of reflection, and we will see how images are formed in the mirror. But apart from mirrors, we are using lenses as well. Can you make a list of lenses we are using in house? The first is specs, which your grandparent or even you must have specs. So those specs are nothing but lenses. Your mobile camera is a lens. Your DSLR camera is a lens. Film projector or LCD projector is a lens. Your eyes are lenses. I am talking about the original eyes. If you see these eyes, your eyes has a bulge outside. So what are lenses? Lenses are nothing but a transparent material. They are made up of glasses, transparent glass. You take any sphere, say this is a glass sphere, and you cut this glass sphere, you get a lens like this. So this is your lens cut from a glass sphere, and this lens is had bulge from both the sides. It's called as a biconvex lens because both the surfaces are convex. If you have a lens like this is called as a concave lens. This is a concave surface like this. This is a concave surface and this is a convex surface, but this is a mirror, remember. Lenses are transparent. So when light passes through any lens, what happens? That we will see now. Because we have seen that when light falls on a mirror, it bounces back, it reflects. But what about the lenses? So let us see. So if we have a lens here, a convex lens for example. So I am drawing a line which we call as a principal axis or main axis of a lens which is passing through the center of the lens. If rays which are parallel to the principal axis, when they pass through any lens, they change their path and they meet at one point, and that point is called as a focus, F, and distance between this center and F is called as focal length of a lens. You must have tried this experiment. If you have any magnifying glass, you must have burned the paper. So when you are holding above the paper, remember what you do to burn the paper? You adjust the magnifying glass so that you get a pinpoint image, and that pinpoint image is of what? A sun. You try to focus sun onto this paper. So you are collecting all rays together at this point, sun rays. That is the foci, focus. And the distance between this paper and magnifying glass will be the focal length of that lens. But we are not using lenses to just burn the paper. We are using lenses for other purposes like magnification. Your grandparent must be using magnifying glass to read newspaper or to see smaller things, or if you visited any watchmaker, that watchmaker puts that lens like this, and you must have seen my eye bigger. So what is this? We use magnifying glasses for magnification, to see the things magnified. So how this magnification happens using any glass? Basically again there are three types: the plain glass, a window glass. You must have visited any shopping mall where you get a very clear transparent glass. Even you, many times you don't notice that there is a glass and you hit your head on that glass. Second, a convex lens, and third, concave lens. So convex lens, our eyes are convex, they have bulge outside, and also there are concave lenses which are used in specs mainly. So how lens works and how image is formed inside the lens, that we will see now. Even I can show you one thing. If I hold, so let us try to do that. If we can see, if I hold this lens here, here you will see now an image of a torch like this. So this is image of a torch falling on a screen. So here torch is an object, or if I hold it like this, you will see some images here that is of two bulbs, but that image is inverted. Let me switch off the light and we will see image of candle. Now we have switch off the lights and we have this experiment set up, a burning candle and dark room. And I have a magnifying glass in my hand, which I am not saying as a magnifying glass now, but just a lens. So I am using this wall as a screen. So if I hold lens very close to this, can you see something here? No. But as I move this magnifying glass or lens away from it, you will see, can you see this candle, image of candle here? If you can see clearly, this image is inverted. This image is inverted, upside down. Let me show you by holding this spoon onto it. So first let me get this candle here, and now I am putting my spoon from the top. You will see this candle flame closing from bottom to top. See. So this is inverted image. Even you can see, if you hold it near screen, you can see a window, trees or buildings upside down. So let me switch on the lights. And so this is how images are formed in lenses. And magnifying glass works. So how magnifying glass works? When you use it for reading, I will draw one diagram for you. So to draw a ray diagram, just remember this. This may not be a part of your regular academic for your standard, but this is very interesting. How images are magnified. So we know that when rays pass through the lens, they get collected at point, that point is called as focus. So light rays which are parallel pass through focus. So imagine when you are reading any newspaper, where you hold the magnifying glass, you hold it closely to the newspaper. So that object is very close to the lens and it is somewhere, say object here between P and F, very close to the lens. To draw ray diagram of any object, you have to follow two basic rules, that ray coming from one object should be parallel to the principal axis, and second, it should pass through the P. So the first ray parallel to principal axis will pass through the F, and second ray you have to draw always which is passing through the P. Now, even if you stretch these two rays, will they meet each other? Because they are moving away from each other. So you have to stretch them backward. So I am just stretching them backward by dotted line, because they are not meeting really. So we are doing it and stretching back, and so I will draw a dotted line. So now see, we get this image. Suppose you are reading a small letter A with this magnifying glass. So this is a handle of magnifying glass. You are holding this magnifying glass to read this small letter A, which appears to be this much of big to you. And where are your eyes? Your eyes are on this side. This is how magnifying glass works. So this is about the image formation in mirrors and lenses. We have to perform experiments on these things, and there are wide variety of applications where we use mirrors and lenses, right from the house to big industries and into defense. And we are going to make one project also which will be for spying. So we'll see all these experiments right now. So this is experiment number 1, forming a rainbow. To form a rainbow, basically we know that white light is dispersed into 7 colors. So either you need a prism, glass prism to disperse those lights, or we will use water as a lens and we will reflect light rays using this mirror. So what you need, take any bowl, add water more than half, and you have to insert this mirror slanted inside the water. So more than half of the mirror will go inside the water. Now what you need to do is place this in sunlight outdoor and try to adjust its position left, right, up and down, tilted, so that you will get a reflected image on the wall. Basically you will get a rainbow. Even you can take that rainbow on any white paper like this. So right now we don't have sunlight access here, but you can do this experiment in sunlight. Even I am going to share one video. If you click the eye icon right now on the video at the right hand corner, you will get link to video which will show you how rainbows are formed using this plain mirror and water. So try this experiment. Next, I ask one question: if we mix all those 7 colors, can we get white light back? So for that we have this Newton's disc, because as I told you, if you remember, Newton worked a lot on these experiments. So I will just remove this sticker paper from it and will place this sticker paper carefully onto this top here like this. So we have these 7 colors. Now if I move this, you will see it is in white light. In camera normally it doesn't appear in white light, but all those 7 colors mixed together and you see a whitish disc. So the answer to the previous question was, if we mix all 7 colors, we get white light back. That is why we say that white light is made up of 7 colors. Now we will move to next experiment about image formation in mirror. So for that we need this 2 candles, a plain glass and a stand. So put this glass inside the slate, handle this glass carefully, otherwise it will hurt you. So you have to handle it very carefully, don't press on the corners. So the basic experiment setup is, you have to place a candle like this, place a stand with plain glass like this, and you need 2 candles. So you will place 1 candle here in this fashion, you will burn this candle, and second candle you have, so you will be on this side now. You will adjust yourself in such a way that this candle you have to adjust back and forth, matching the flame. Remember, this only 1 candle you will light up, another candle will be as it is, and when you move this candle back and forth, try to find out a place where this burning flame appears on the top of this candle. And before you start experiment, make sure that both candles have same height. If candles do not have same height, just place them and cut another candle so that you will have the same height of a candle. So I am just cutting this candle here so that we will have the same height of the candle on both the sides. So let us begin with the experiment. So light up candle and place this plain glass on a stand like this, and keep this candle at some distance from the stand. Take another candle, put it in line we know that light travels in straight line. So you have to sit down and try to adjust the flame and move this candle back and forth, so that you will find that flame, burning flame on top of this candle matching the exact height, and at that point you have to stop, because if you take it very away you will see that candle independent. If you take it very close, this candle appears to be taller one. So you have to adjust this candle in such a way that if you can see from this side, this candle you have to move back and forth and make the position in such a way that you will find a flame on top of the non-burning candle. And if you see from the top, mark the position, and you will find the distance between this candle and plain glass and distance between burning candle and plain glass, they are always same. So this is how image is formed inside a mirror. Now this is set up to see image formation using concave mirror. Even if you see your eyes or teeth or nose on in this mirror, they will look very big. Now to check image formation using concave mirror, put the concave mirror inside this stand, put this cardboard in the slit of a foam, stick this torch on this stand and switch on the torch. Now we will switch off the lights to just see the reflection of this mirror onto this screen. Now here you will see something is there on the screen. Now adjust the mirror back and forth. So I am taking close to the screen, nothing is visible, but if I take it away from it, now here you can see a image of a torch on this. So this is the focal length of this mirror. This image is formed here. Now instead of this torch, I will use a candle. So I will place this candle here. So the image we are getting, we didn't understood about the image properties, whether it is inverted or something. Now again do the same experiment with the candle and let us focus the flame here. You will see that image very clearly, which is inverted. So I have just inserted this paper wall between candle and the screen, and if I take a spoon on the flame, you will see as I am talking this flame is disturbing. So I will just keep my mouth closed and see the experiment. So this candle is, I am putting the spoon from the top, and image you can see it is from the bottom to top movement. So this is the image formation using concave mirror. Our last experiment, we will make a periscope. Basically periscopes are used in submarines mainly for spying. So that submarine is underwater, and that the people inside a submarine can see movement which is happening above the surface of the ocean because of this special instrument which is called as periscope. Even you can use this periscope for spying. If you are inside a hall, you can see something happening outside a hall, hiding yourself. So let us make this periscope. First of all, clear off the slits which are pre-punched. So remove unnecessary parts. You will find these pre-punched lines. Remove these things. Remove these windows. After this, you need to fold it on all lines firmly. So this horizontal, fold it firmly. First fold, then second, press it hard so that box will get automatic shape. and the last line. Similarly, this side as well. Fold it inside like this. After this, sellotape. Using sellotape, you have to make a box. So this pasting area will go inside, and using a sellotape, you will paste the walls. So I am just using my dispenser here to stick it. While you are sticking with sellotape, make sure the box is getting proper square shape. Do not paste the sellotape on these slits. Be careful. So this is the square form box. From the top as well, you have to close it like this. So from both the sides, close it from the top. Make sure you are not covering the slits. After this, you need two mirrors. So let us see this. This is a window. You have to insert this mirror from these slits in such a way that reflecting surface should be visible through this window. So insert. So if you see this mirror carefully, you have to you will see length and breadth are different. Length is longer, this breadth is shorter. So you have to insert this from a shorter side like this, and make sure the reflecting surface is, you can see through the window like this. Similarly, from another side, you have to repeat the procedure. This is again a window. Insert this mirror into the slit from the side in such a way that, so this is your periscope ready for spying. And from the sides, you will put sellotape so that this mirror will not fall down. So put the sellotape from the sides so that this mirror will not fall down. And your periscope is ready for spying. So this small slit you will use for looking into it or peeping into it. You will put your eyes close to this. So hide under table and put this portion above the table like this, and you can see things or movement, but those people will not be able to see you. So happy spying using this periscope.